A lot of us have made steaks that we really, really love, and the technique doesn't really change, a little bit depending on the cut that you're cooking. Today, I want to focus on sauce game. You hear that, CJ?
Sauce game.
Sauce game is how you take it to the next level. I'm going to show you guys how to do a very simple but elegant red wine reduction sauce on our fillets. It's going to be fantastic. Some potatoes, some asparagus, all the things a growing boy needs.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Go to CJ's show for those movie quotes. Let me show you guys how I like to do it. Today I have these gorgeous fillets. Today, what do you say?
I just may.
I don't want to do movie quotes on this show, but they just happen.
By the bay.
Just may. So I've got these gorgeous filet. They're amazing, they're beautiful, they're really, really stunning, but I don't want to get to these just yet. I'm gonna get my potatoes going first. So I have some little yellow potatoes. I'm gonna cut these in half. If they're really big, you can cut them in quarters. We basically want them to be a little bit smaller. They can be bite size and they cook faster. Let's go ahead and get our griddle up to medium heat. Add a bit of oil in all of those gorgeous potatoes. I'm gonna hit those with just some of our steak seasoning. The Chicago steak is fantastic. If you haven't had it, really large granules of fantastic seasoning. Give that a toss, put a dome over it to let those start cooking. Now let's get our sauce cruising. Now typically, I would make my steaks on the griddle top, but I'm gonna show you guys a really cool technique. We're gonna talk about fond. It's like that. We're gonna get that to high heat. Let's put some olive oil down. We wanna get this to smoke point. So just a touch of oil, high heat. We're gonna get to our steaks in just a minute. So what fond is, we'll talk about it more in a minute when you can actually see it. It's the caramelization of protein that sticks to the bottom of the pan that we reintroduce back into our sauce.
I've seen it. I like it. Let's do it.
Okay. Before we get there, I'm gonna take some garlic. Let's go ahead and smash these. Do you do this, CJ?
Sure.
It's such an easy, simple thing to do, and it opens up so much more of the oil in the garlic. It gives us more garlic flavor, which is fantastic. Now, while that oil is coming up to temp, let's go ahead and season these gorgeous fillets. Now, I'm actually gonna do two-part seasoning. I'm gonna start with my Chicago steak, and also notice these are fairly thick, so we're gonna be pretty generous with our seasoning. Now, I did mention I'm going two-part seasoning here. These large, beautiful granules. Can you see those?
Oh, yeah.
Little bits of onion and garlic in there. It's a really, really great seasoning if you haven't tried it yet. I'm also using our blackening. Can you see that one? Mm-hmm. This one is gonna give us a lot of flavor, but more importantly, a lot of color. There's some activated charcoal in there. Can you see it?
Oh yeah.
It's so cool. If you've ever used a blackening seasoning like this, it's really, really interesting. Let's flip them over, do the same thing to the other side. Now what we're waiting for is for our oil to start smoking. Smoke point is that hottest point of the oil. And then we're gonna add our steaks. We wanna sear these really, really high heat for two reasons. One, this is a thick steak, so we want a gorgeous crust on the outside, but we also want some of that protein to hang out in the pan. We want it to stick around in the pan. Once we have that stunning sear, I mean, you can see, CJ, look at this. That sear is pretty unbelievable. Let's peek at our potatoes real quick. You know what, add a little bit of fresh rosemary in there and pop the dome back on. This just gives it some more beautiful flavor. Now, once our steaks have that amazing crust, you can see it. You can absolutely see it. Now, we're very, very rare still. Let's take our dome off of our vegetables. These are looking really, really good. Let's scoot them toward the back. Let these keep cooking. Now we're gonna finish our steaks on the griddle top. Now usually I would do these on the griddle top completely, but I'll show you what we're gonna get in just a second. So let's pull our steaks off. Oh, can you, CJ, just gander.
Gandering.
Gander. Let's bring these over. We're gonna finish these on the griddle top. Now look inside the pan, CJ. Do you see this right here? This right here, this is fond. Fond is the leftover little bits of meat. So I'm gonna take my garlic, we're gonna throw it right in the pan to toast, just a little bit. Let's go in with just a touch of butter as well. I always use unsalted butter. How many times do we need to have that conversation? Control the amount of salt by using unsalted butter. What are we, maniacs here? A little bit of butter, beauty. Now this isn't gonna take long. That garlic cooks really, really quick. There's a little bit of beef fat in there, toasted garlic, magic. Can you smell it already, CJ?
Oh yeah, buddy.
All right, now right before the garlic is done, I'm going in with rosemary and thyme. Now I'm doing this before I add my liquid. Can you hear that popping? I'm doing the herbs before I add my liquid because I want some of those oils to come out and toast just a bit. Like magical aroma. Like when you make this at home, you're gonna feel what CJ feels right now.
Great.
Jubilee.
Jubilee.
Jubilee. All right, now we're gonna go in with just a bit of wine. Now today I'm using some Cabernet Sauvignon, but you can use any kind of wine that you like. A heavier wine for me is better. Now we're deglazing. So all of that fond, I don't know if you can hear me, it's pretty loud. All of that fond, that meat, the leftover meat stuff, now it's coming up into the liquid. Oh wow, it's already getting velvety. Beauty, beauty. Now let's add a little bit more wine. We're also gonna add some beef stock. Now the wine beef stock combo just gives us a very, very rich, beefy. Beef stock, beef, filet. There we go. We're gonna do about equal parts, a little bit less beef stock than wine, a little bit more wine than beef stock. I'm also gonna add some peppercorns. Now these are whole peppercorns. They're gonna add a really bright, not bright, but a heavy punch of that pepper flavor. That's really, really good. I'm also gonna do just a touch more of that steakhouse seasoning. Now turn your heat up to high and let this reduce. You want it to look almost like syrup, right before syrup. You want it to be a thick, beautiful sauce. Our sauce is almost there. I want to get to my asparagus before I get to the rest. You know, real quick, let's go ahead and slide our steaks off the heat. Now this is the cool side. I don't know if you watched the video we had. You know, let's go ahead and slide these potatoes up underneath our dome. So these are still going to maintain their heat, but they're not on direct heat, which is nice. In a video we did in the past, we talked about taking your steaks to medium, which we're probably going to do today just because I prefer medium. Oh, cut the rooty ends off of those asparagus.
Isn't there a fun trick with that, though? You can do without slicing, like...
Oh, I should have saved one. Do I have another one? I don't.
No.
Yeah, there's a trick. If you had the roots, you can just... Thanks, CJ. Remind me before I cut next time.
My bad.
I'm going to go a bit more oil right over here. Now, typically, if I was cooking my steak all the way on my griddle, I'd have that beautiful fat. Let's crank this up to high heat and go with our asparagus. Let's hit that with a bit more of that Chicago steak.
Dude, I put that Chicago steak on everything.
Did you... Off camera, he was eating it out of his hand a minute ago.
I know what you're talking
It's like a salt lick. Like a salt lick. All right, check out our sauce. Can you see how much it's reduced?
Heck yeah, buddy.
Right? Now is the point where we are going to monter au beurre.
You gonna put butter on the griddle?
No, I'm going to
In
put
the
butter
saucepan?
in the pan. So we're going to mount the butter. Let me actually cut some off right here. Monter au beurre is a French technique, and it means mounting, or it stands for mounting the butter. So I'm going to take some unsalted butter, and right when it hits, we're going to start whisking it in. Now this is going to slightly emulsify. It's going to become one with the sauce, but it's also going to thicken it up and add a really, really rich flavor. Let's go ahead and cut the heat. No more heat needed. Whisk all of that in. Now you notice I didn't strain this. I'm going old school. We do not need to strain this because we're going to use a spoon in just a minute. Oh, see the color slightly changes. It gets glossy and shiny. Oh my goodness. The aromas are pretty amazing as well.
Are we getting it to that point where, like you said, that you get a spoon and like rub your finger on it? Or
Oh, to nappe?
Oh, nappe.
I'm going to take my steaks. Let these rest on the cutting board just a little bit. We are going to take it to slightly nappe. Now, with a reduction sauce, I said syrup earlier. That's a little bit of an exaggeration. What CJ is talking about, you can take a spoon and you can take it into your... Oh, almost lost my spatula here. You can take the backside of it, and when it sits on the spoon and you can drag your finger through it, that is nappe. Nappe means our consistency is perfect. Now, if it was more of a syrupy type sauce, it'd be a little thicker, but you can see it's a very clear, defined line. Oh, the flavor.
Nappe, not to be confused with frappe. Okay.
And put frappe. Dang it. I'm going to go with a bit more seasoning. It needs a touch of salt. I'm going to go with that Chicago steak. Give that a quick little whisk. And that sauce is done. Now these, CJ, you're a medium rare kind of guy, right?
Definitely.
So the thinner one is at medium-ish. The other one is at medium. That's about medium rare. Let's let that rest for just a second longer. Plating is going to be really simple on this one. Actually, I only have one plate, but I have 2 steaks. Should I put it all on one plate?
Dude.
I'm not going to do it all on one plate.
Platter it up.
Platter?
Nah.
I'll make you another plate after.
Thank you.
We'll do one plate. Let's get rid of our plate for just a second. Let's go ahead and slice. We'll do this one, the big fatty first. All right, I like to slice. You can serve your steak whole as one large piece, but I like to slice it kind of in more bite-sized portions. and then you can splay it out a little bit better. It looks like the presentation's a little nicer, I think. Oh, that's stunning. The good fat in there. I mean, filets are very lean. That's why people like it. They say it falls apart. Maybe I'm the weirdo in the room that wants the
bite of the fat.
I
like
love the fat. Love the. Would you say I love blue eyes?
No, I love blue eyes. I love lamb. Okay, wrong show.
Ethan. Wrong show.
Dang it.
All right, let's go with our potatoes first. Now these have been on the longest, so these should be. Let's see here. Oh yeah, they're nice and soft. You can get rid of the rosemary if you want to. I think it's pretty, so I'm going to start with the bed of that gorgeousness. Oh, look at that. The little bits of rosemary too, the crispy bits that hit the oil. Oh yeah, this is gonna be good. You know what, I didn't save any potatoes, CJ. See how gorgeous the potatoes got? Look at that. Look at that. Let's check on our asparagus here. Oh yeah, just a little bit of color on those. But we definitely maintained our crunch. Go right along like this. Now we're gonna take our steak and lay it right over the top, just like that. Kind of like fan it out. Show our beautiful work. Look at that. That's stunning. All right,
awesome.
Ready? Here we go. Star of the show, our sauce. Our sauce is magical. It's velvety. It's beautiful. No?
Yeah.
It's all the things. Here we go. How hot is this? Hot enough. All right, I don't know if you can see, CJ, but it's thickened up a good bit. It's incredibly glossy. That Monte au beurre, that adding the butter at the very end, that is the magic. Now we're gonna take a big spoon, just drape it right down the steak. Let some of it hit the pan or the plate, both of those. Oh yeah. The potatoes will soak this up. The steak will soak this up. If you really wanted to do like a little pool on the bottom, it's really pretty over the asparagus. But it is crazy rich, crazy flavorful, and pretty impressive. I mean, if you make this for your date night or for your friends, I mean, it's one of those things where you make it, it wasn't as hard as you thought it was gonna be, and it comes out perfect every single time. It is no fuss, no muss, no fuss. I don't know the phrase. It's delicious. That's the phrase. Let's take a bite of this thing.
Talk to me. Is it a Sauce Me Seymour kind of moment? Hello, my lady. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime cow.
All that. Whoa. Come on now. Come on. It is so good. Let me get one of those potatoes because look how crispy they look. Didn't do much of those potatoes at all. I mean, simple, elegant, beautiful, crispy.
Little yellow.
Different. Wrong show. That's what that is. All right, guys. Here's plain and simple truth. Delicious does not have to be difficult. That sauce, very, very simple. Couple of liquids reducing down. That's it. Add some little promoting flavor with the garlic and the herbs and the fond.
Yes.
The fonds. No,
Hey.
Wrong show. The point is, you guys can do this, and you should do this. This is a really fun one. Give this a try if you guys want to elevate your steak game. If you want to do it just on the griddle itself, you can. Having the side burner is nice to do the extra sauce, but play with your food. That's what I'm trying to say. Play with your food. I know I do all the time. I'm gonna house this, man. I'm getting down on this. Thank you guys for hanging out. If you haven't yet, click the subscribe button down below. If you're on YouTube, click the little bell icon so you get a notification every time we post a video. Leave us a comment, share it if you love it. Be sure to watch all of the other shows on the channel, but this is Cook, Eat, Repeat, where we help you become a better cook one recipe at a time. I'm your host, Chef Nathan Lippy. I can't even speak. Did you hear what happened? It was the salt. You know what I was gonna say. See you guys next time.